To what extent my viewers engage with the type of stuff that I do, I have no idea. Do you go on Discord servers and debate people? Do you go on TikTok like I do and do it? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But this is kind of like my open letter to the community about debating and debate brain. I want us to get over this and stop taking ourselves so seriously, because I think it makes what we do just not very honest, and it reduces the quality of it. And if we can stop trying to protect ourselves so much, we can point out hypocrisies more easily on the other side. The problem with debates is that we are terrified to concede with even 1 point. I'll give you a weird example. I was watching a debate between these two people, and they were debating veganism. Now, the pro-vegan person was just absolutely dog-walking the other guy, who's a really famous debate lord online. I don't remember how it got thrown to this, but the guy that was losing the debate brought up something about blackface. Again, I don't remember why, but he said to the other person, well, would you be okay with somebody wearing blackface? Now, I know the other person doesn't think that that's okay, but they wouldn't concede a single point to the other person. So he just kept saying well, there's nothing wrong with somebody wearing dark makeup. That's the kind of thing where it's just concede 1 point or agree on something with your interlocutor. That actually works in your favor most of the time. Now, with science, I don't think we should be conceding things with science. I mean, you can say what I often do with flat earthers is I'll say, look, I'll grant you your position, but it still doesn't work because here are all the contradictions. But this is something I see where it's a debate around social issues. All of the debates that I see that revolve around social issues, 100% of the time, each person is trying to either find an obscure term that the other person doesn't know and then declare victory.
So how am I supposed to engage with you if you don't even know what the words I'm saying mean?
I have done things like make very minor mechanical adjustments and repairs on bicycles, cars, random objects in my house without having any fucking idea what the tools are called. Okay, that's how. It's actually not all that difficult. What you're doing is just jerking yourself off by playing these esoteric word games and pretending like you're winning the argument by when you can't justify something, you ask somebody, do you know what this term means? Or they're trying to find an exception that somebody takes with regard to their position.
Destiny, since you hold there is no consciousness at conception personhood, do you believe a woman should be able to drink and smoke from the earliest point of pregnancy if she doesn't get an abortion?
I would say no, because you're committing harm to a future person.
Whoa! So is it committing harm to a future person to dismember them at 19 weeks?
No, because you're preventing that future person from existing.
Okay.
Nice try,
I actually don't
I like how you thought.
I'm not saying that ignorance is a virtue or that believing in a contradiction is fine or that special pleading isn't an issue. However, nobody lives their life as a logic bro. For example, I believe in human rights, that a woman has the right to decide what to do with her body, etc. Now, can I justify human rights? Well, not really. The best I can do is say something to the effect of, there's no logical argument that you can make that it's okay for you to harm others, but it's not okay for anyone to harm you. I simply do not want to live in a world where people don't recognize human rights. I'm a pragmatic utilitarian, I suppose you could say. But, I'm certainly not the only one. With regard to rights, some people say it's only possible because God exists. What we know about how we structure beliefs is that the vast majority of the time, intuitions come first, and then strategic reasoning comes second. This is often called motivated reasoning as well. But if you take 1 million God believers, convince all of them that God doesn't exist, you wouldn't end up with 1 million murderers, thieves, rapists, or 500,000, or even 1,000. The vast majority of people can't stand the idea of doing stuff like that because they can't stand the idea of it happening to them. It has nothing to do with believing in God. I've only ever one time, it was like 2 years ago, debated the issue of abortion, but I would probably, quote unquote, lose to somebody where that's all they do is debate that issue. And I don't care. And here's why. My basic ideas on this issue are that nobody has the right to use another person's body. But I also don't think you should be able to get an abortion at 37 weeks for no reason. I have no moral dilemmas about abortions in the first about 22 weeks because for all we can tell, the fetus has no ability to suffer. But I don't think you should be able to throw a coma patient off of a cliff even though they can't suffer. It's not hard at all to imagine all the, so you claim to take the harm reduction approach, but through reductio ad absurdum and Wingardium Leviosa, I have shown your position to be a contradiction. I don't care, debate bro. You're a hypocrite too. We all subscribe to certain fictions that we choose to believe in, and they're all imperfect. Here's an example. I've never done this before, but I might try it in the future. Many chronically online debaters have the ability to weave this like rhetorical Gordian knot, right? And trap you with that rhetoric. My response, yeah, I don't care, and it doesn't matter. That's what I choose to believe. And if they act like they suddenly won, I would ask them this question. I have a green piece of paper with George Washington's face on it. What is it worth? It's worth $1, right? So Logic Bro needs to give me the logical argument for how a piece of paper is worth $1. It's literally not possible because the value of that currency is declared by fiat. So now Logic Bro needs to tell me why it's okay for him to pretend $1 is worth that, even though they know it isn't. Logic Bro is going to come up with some sort of pragmatic utilitarian reason. Can you imagine like Logic Bro showing up to the grocery store to barter for all of his groceries with, I don't know, land or cattle or flakes of gold or something like that. And Logic Bro will tell the cashier, look, no, these ones and zeros that my debit card is putting into your register or this paper, none of this actually means anything or has any real intrinsic value. And the cashier would, what's that movie, The Big Lebowski? They would just say something like, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole. If we were Logic Bros with regard to the way we do commerce, then yeah, the way we do it makes no sense. I mean, like online shopping is literally impossible. We can just declare that ones and zeros, that represents wealth. How does that make any sense? Logical sense. Logic Bro cannot accomplish this task that I have set out for them. Logic Bro also can't give a reason why he gets to say ones and zeros that represent his $4 net worth, that's legitimate, but your claim that a woman should have a right to choose is not legitimate because in both cases, those are fictional ideas we choose to believe in for personal reasons. The only thing Logic Bro can do is admit that he's a hypocrite. This is the process that we use largely when forming beliefs and structuring the rules for a society. Yes, there is logic involved. Do you know what else there's involved? Discretion. Is it okay to speed and run a red light? No, because, at worst you could kill somebody or, less severe. If it's okay for you to do it, then it's okay for everybody to do it. And if everybody just ignores the rules, then nothing functions, nothing flows. But would you fine somebody for speeding through a red light because somebody was shooting at them, or the person in the passenger seat suddenly went into cardiac arrest? No. So if Logic Bro is debating it should be illegal, like all abortions in all cases should be illegal because of these reasons, then Logic Bro needs to throw everybody who ever sped in a life-saving situation in jail too. Or maybe not jail, but, have the law extend to them. But Logic Bro would never do that. Does this mean that you are believing in a contradiction when you would apply this exception for the speeding rule? Well, I don't think so. I think what it means is we believe in structuring a society with rules for the purpose of utilitarian gain. And we understand how violating those rules can still move the needle toward progress. Again, I'm not saying, oh man, all this debating and logical fallacy stuff, let's just say random stuff that doesn't mean anything. That's not what I'm doing. Formulating good arguments is an important exercise in critical thinking, and those arguments are very persuasive. I'm saying let's not pretend that ideas that come about through collective conscience are either true or false if and only if the arguments have no dead ends or exceptions. Now, this is all very much me thinking out loud. I'm perfectly happy for everybody to roast me and say this is stupid for X, Y, and Z reason, but I do stand behind everything that I said as of now. Let me know what you think. I'll see you tomorrow.